Well, that is the thing about quavers, isn't it? You know, a bag of them is delicious, but the first one you put in your mouth always tastes a little bit like sick.
It's the Daylight Midnight Show.
Well, we start this week with a slight warning, I'm afraid. There is a chance, just a chance, that someone is going to knock on the door at some point in the next 10 minutes and disturb the show. It's never happened before. It could happen today because the door to the studio here is actually my front door. It's hard to describe where I live now, but I'm on the ground floor, but I'm at a lower point on the road than anybody else. And there's a problem outside with the drains, and so they might have to access my house to be able to flush it through. So there you go. But the rules are that no, we don't stop, we don't re-record, so if someone has to come in, I'm just going to have to do it at random. But hopefully we'll get this done before that happens at all, and I wouldn't have needed to have mentioned it to you, but I do like to be an honest presenter. So apologies for last week's slight fiasco. Obviously it was only episode 3 and I'm still getting back in the swing of these. I haven't quite got in my head the running order. Let's be honest, we haven't even decided yet what the running order for the show is going to be for Series 4. So I forgot a couple of things. We didn't do the coin toss, we didn't do interactive Greg and Nori. So what I've done this week, because I don't want to make any mistakes, I've actually done myself a little crib sheet. And I'm going to go through it literally one item at a time. I'd like to be clever and remember everything, but as I've just explained, we haven't got to that stage yet. So I'm going to go through this bit by bit and make sure I leave nothing out. And I'm going to literally cross things off as we go through. So next on the list is the fun fact for a Friday, which lives right here in our little envelope on the door of delights. And our fun fact for this week is this. Just to explain, just a little reminder that this is just something that I've learnt over the past weeks that I've decided to share with you. Some of them are quick, some of them are slow, some of them are easy, some of them are hard, some of them are simple, some of them are complicated. I'll stop talking about it and read it to you. There is an old, now rarely used word that is an adjective meaning of or relating to the hair. That word is crinal. C-R-I-N-A-L, crinal. First written down in, I think it was 1656. It was used a lot over the next 100 years or so. It's hardly used now, but I mention that because from now on, our coin toss at the end, when I remember to do it, is going to be called the crinal coin toss. I was looking for like a snappy little title for it. Crinal relates to the hair, the coin toss relates to the hair. From now on it's called the crinal coin toss. Right, that's fun fact for a Friday done. Next on the list is the purple card, which is the new brown folder. And I did say last week I was going to try and come up with a song for the purple card. So, I hope you can see the guitar. Let's see if I can remember this from writing it yesterday. Sometimes life is easy, sometimes life is hard. Let's see what Greg's written on the purple card. That's a work in progress. But I did think I will do that every week, change the words slightly. But maybe if there's a certain style that you would like to hear that song played in, do let me know. So if you want to hear Elvis do the purple card song, if you want to hear UB40 do the purple card song, if you want to hear it in a reggae style, if you want to hear it in a ska style, if you want to hear it in a Russian ballet style, get in contact and I will do my best for you. So the purple card is going to be where I'm just going to write stuff down over the course of the week that I want to talk to you about. And I did say we had a little bit of a backlog from obviously not doing the show for quite a while. Lots of thoughts running around in my head that I might want to share with you. So the one I'm going to pick this week is, does outfit roulette affect my professionalism? The first show of the series I sat here and I had a tie and a suit, not a tie, a shirt and a suit on, and I felt like I was presenting in a very professional way. The week after that I had to wear my dressing gown, I believe, and it just feels like maybe psychologically for me, I do a better show when I'm dressed better. So this week will be a good test. You can watch last week's with the dressing gown, you can watch this week's with the nice jacket on, and then maybe you can decide for yourselves whether outfit roulette does affect the way I present the show. It was just a thought that I had, really. And the other thing is that I said last week that this is purple card sliding into the door of delights, but I had written it down on the purple card, so I'm not breaking any rules. I said last week about printing off a picture of a ferret to put on the door of delights after we did the What Would My Demon Be online quiz. And it determined that our demon, if we lived in the Dark Materials universe, would be a ferret. Couldn't see it myself, but when it described what people with ferrets are like, I did think, okay, yeah, I'm happy to have that description of myself. And I said I was going to print off a picture of a ferret and put it on the door of delights, but I've got to be honest, I found them a little bit creepy. I love them as animals, but looking at pictures of them, they just come across as very, very sinister, some kind of like evil character from a Disney cartoon. And the more pictures of them I looked at, the weirder I felt. You know, sometimes when you're looking at things to do with wasps or spiders, you get that kind of creepy feeling that one might be behind you. I got that. I got like this suspicious feeling about ferrets being around. And I think having one next to my shoulder, staring down at me while I'm trying to do the show every week, might actually put me off a little bit and make me feel very unsettled. So I've decided I'm going to leave it for now. What I might try and do is buy like a plushy soft toy of a ferret that we can have on display. But for now, I'm accepting that our demon is a ferret. I just don't want one of those creepy things staring over my shoulder. So that's rubbed off. Next, mention finding the old DM stuff. Yes, as you can see, our old logo, which was done by my son when he was a lot younger, is back up on the Door of Delights. Having moved again recently, I've been going through some old boxes and I'm trying to trim as much as possible. My goal is I just want enough stuff to fit in a camper van. That's a problem when you've got 4 guitars, 2 ukuleles, a cajon, a dulcimer, a didgeridoo and a variety of percussion instruments, but I'm doing my best. And I went through a box the other day and found some lovely old photos and some old pictures and some old drawings. And I also found the stuff from the old Door of Delights, including, my friends, our original mascot, Pogo Dave Penguin. Now I think Dave was a Galapagos penguin, and he was up on the Door of Delights right from the early days of Series 1, I'm pretty sure, and has been with us every series since. But I decided, mainly because I couldn't find him, I decided that, and there's the knock on the door. Well, that's never happened before, has it? A first for the Daylight Midnight Show in Series 4. Nothing I could do about that, I'm afraid. So, what I've just learned is that when you live, nowadays, drainage pipes put underground are all made of plastic and they last a long time. When you live in a very old property, they tend to be old ceramic pipes, and as the decades go by, they can start to collapse in on themselves and fray and crack and crumble. And that may be what's happened to the house behind mine that's affecting my drains. So there you go, we live and learn. I could have saved that as a fun fact for next Friday, but it wouldn't have been relevant. So, where were we, my friends? I hope you'll forgive me breaking one of the house rules there with actually stopping the video halfway through, but no choice. Either you were going to hear me talk to someone outside for 20 minutes, or I was going to stop it and come back and start again. So here we go with part 2 of this episode. And where were we? I believe I was talking to you about Pogo Dave Penguin, our original show mascot. So I retired him thinking he wouldn't come back again, and then I found him this week sitting happily in a box with some of the other old stuff, including the logo. So I thought maybe somebody else would like to adopt Pogo Dave Penguin. So if you've been with us since the start, 5 years ago, and if you would like to have Pogo Dave Penguin in your house, get in contact with me in the comments or with the email address that comes up at the end of the show. Tell me why you would like to have him, and I'll arrange posting him to you or another way of delivering him to you. But important part of the show history, it's never going to be worth anything, but if you would like our original show mascot, please get in contact and he may well be yours. So I'm going to place him down there on that rather comfortable cushion. So where are we now then, after all this weird discombobulation? Interactive Gregory. This was my idea. I do a bit of writing, I write children's stories, and I thought it would be lovely if we together could come up with a story over the course of Series 4. So we gave you the title, A Beautiful Day for Gordon Grape, and I asked you to send in suggestions for an opening paragraph, an opening mini chapter that would explain who Gordon was. Is he really a grape, or is he a person whose name is Grape? So, our opening chapter is written by John. Thank you so much for your email. This is the start of the story, A Beautiful Day for Gordon Grape. Gordon Grape wasn't your average fruit. He was plump, purple and proud, with a glossy skin that shimmered like polished amethyst. He lived in the lush vineyard of Willow Vale, nestled between rolling hills and kissed daily by the golden sun. But today wasn't just any day. Today was perfect. Then came the moment. ... So John there has done exactly what we want to do, which is leave it open at the end of every week for someone else to take up the baton and run with it. So what happens next? We know that Gordon is a grape, we know that he is a very nice grape, and we know that he is hanging in this vineyard in a nice area and he's very happy. But what's going to happen to him next? There's got to be some kind of incident that happens that kickstarts the rest of the story. So I'll read it to you again, get your thinking caps on, and then get in contact with me. So, Gordon Grape wasn't your average fruit. He was plump, purple and proud, with a glossy skin that shimmered like polished amethyst. He lived in the lush vineyard of Willow Vale, nestled between rolling hills and kissed daily by the golden sun. But today wasn't just any day. Today was perfect. Then came the moment. ... What happens next? Over to you. So with that, let's get round to our choices by chance then, before someone else knocks on the door or a truck backs into my house and disturbs us even further. In the box with Pogo Dave Penguin, I also found our original mini cube, which I'm going to use for outfit roulette because this one is quite big and clumsy, and if it lands on my head it's going to hurt me. So we do that and we roll it around, and then we work out what the top colour is, which this week is blue. So next week I will be wearing my black shirt, which is a little bit tight for me, so that's going to be... And I've just remembered, I thought I was doing so well that what I was supposed to do because of outfit roulette was wear my headphones, and I forgot to put them on, so I hope you'll forgive me again. Damn it, I was doing so well. So over the black shirt I was going to wear whatever is in yellow. Now this is where we have another discrepancy, because the new jacket that I was going to buy from the charity shop had gone when I went there. So yellow was going to be a new jacket, so I will buy something new and wear it over the top for next week. This is just falling apart, this show. We're only in episode 4. Oh no, I should do that without looking, shouldn't I? So we're going to end up with whatever is in green, and green is my festival hat. So I will be wearing my black shirt, something brand new over the top of it, and learn from my mistake there, ladies and gentlemen. If you go in a shop or a charity shop, you see something you like, you hum and ha, you leave it. When you go back, it might be gone. Strike while the iron is hot, climb on the horse before you put on the saddle. I'm going to stop talking now because I feel like I've driven this show off the side of a cliff. So that's what I'm wearing next week. Will my hair be up or down? Let's find out. The coin is a head, and head means head of hair, so it will be luxuriously flowing down. Well, that was quite an experience, wasn't it? This is the first time since I started doing these shows where I want to break one of the rules and actually re-record it, because it feels like weird stuff has happened. But you know what? That's the reality of doing a show like this, that you just start it going and you see what happens. So I'm going to put in a new weekly thing, which is Greg's apology from last week. And my apology for this week is that I wasn't wearing headphones for the whole of the show like Outfit Roulette said. So maybe as a punishment for that, I will wear them again next week over the festival hat. But I'll see how I feel. Let me know what you think about... It doesn't matter. Let's leave it there. This has been the worst show we've done so far. I promise I'll try harder next week because there won't be so many interruptions. I will see you next week. Have a great 7 days. Well, that one was a winner.